All right, all right, all right, all right. Welcome back to Practical Spiritual Advice by Infinite You, which is me, which is you, which is we. Buckle up for the ride. Let's get it, get it. My name is Harold Honow. I am the owner of Infinite You, and we bring together the wellness plus the synergy into your life, into the world, so that way you can see this change. Like, what does the ascension process look like? And through this practical, storytelling, advising, the things that I've seen throughout my travels and my journey through paths of alignment, solar eclipse, sacred sites that nobody talks about here in Texas, on top of ley lines, water ley lines, telluric ley lines. I've talked about all this stuff in the past episodes. So if this is new to you and you don't know what journey the Herald has been on, then I would recommend to go back and check out all the different information that I put out there. It's fascinating. It's the story of the Herald's journey, and it's the story of us, you, me, we, as it's a collective thing. And as I go back and close the loops on the information that I've traveled through, it's this quantum field of coherence that I start to talk about things that you dreamed about, that you discussed with a friend, that were ideas, that were notions in your head and hadn't yet played them all out, or you've never heard of them put together in the same way. And we're here talking about the same thing because we're dreaming the same dream. And sometimes there may just be messengers that come through and are able to speak it clear from the heart, without ego. Well, ego is the identity of self. And if I identify myself as a messenger of the gods or God or whatever you want to call it, the cosmic experience, before it's about to happen, then so be it. That's the ego, and it incorporates everyone. So anyway, because I see myself as a multidimensional being, and it's me, it's you, it's a mirroring effect. So I'm not mad at anything that's transpiring. I'm here to refine it, define it, and give it its purpose, and steward the energy that comes through myself, and hope it aligns with you. So let's do something here. I want to first remind everyone, as I take my own drink of water, I want you to remember to drink plenty of water, stay hydrated, get you some watermelon, have something nice, good that's going to hydrate you. Good H2O, clean, purified. I may need to take another drink of that. Hold on one second. Let's do that one more time. Make sure you get enough hydration. Okay. Now that we're hydrated, let's take a second just to recalibrate for a second here. Just recalibrate. You're okay right now. You're relaxed. Throughout this process, no matter what you're doing, whether it's washing the dishes, driving in traffic, sitting on the couch, sitting in your art space or your workspace, or wherever it may be right now, you're listening to this. You're listening to my voice. You're either watching, or you could be watching the new YouTube. This is our first time, FYI, that I'm recording, so I can post this on YouTube. So we're rough drafting that one, and we hope to refine it. And so I'm going to hope not to talk like you can see what I'm doing for the podcast listeners. And YouTube, you're really just going to hear the exact same thing, and you're just going to see the room that I'm in and my expressions and the look on my face when I do certain things. So that's pretty much the bonus. And then we're going to play with all this. Anyway, let's again, we're recalibrating, and I have something special here for you. For those that watch some of the other videos, I can't remember which episode it is, but I brought out the heart chakra bowl. And this is it's a hand hammered in Tibet. And this is part of my spiritual journey was to connect me with a guy, Dr. Dream, Mark Peebler. He, has been traveling around the world and, the nation here in the U.S., doing these healing bowl activations. The whole storytelling. I mean, it's just cool. I don't want to get into all the details, even though, and I don't think he does it anymore right now, if I'm not mistaken. He doesn't offer this type of experience anymore. But he had a bunch of these bowls. Excuse me. And all of them are hand hammered, and they are master healer bowls, which means that they will ring for more than, I think he said it's a minute or 45 seconds or something. And we'll let it ring out. Let's see, because this one, because it is a smaller bowl, it's not going to last as long as the other ones. And if you just look at just physics, you understand that. Tighter ring, it's going to be a higher ring, and it's going to phase out sooner. And I want you to just take a deep breath and imagine this, the frequencies and the codes, like this energy coming in through your crown. If you have headphones on, this would do you right. If you hear the multiple tones within the sound, there's one oscillating in the background. That's, and then you have the one in the forefront. And then you have one in the background. Isn't it fascinating? Just playing with sound, and mixing them to create harmonics. I mean, essentially, to me, that's what storytelling is. Through sound, you're creating somatics. If anybody's seen if you can envision this in your mind, when you put grains of sand on a metal plate and then you put frequencies through it, and you can see these patterns that emerge, and you shift the frequencies and the pattern shifts. And so that's essentially what we're doing, is we're weaving together these patterns that are able to permeate the pattern. I mean, like the fabric of the universe. I mean, they go through things, and you can, and it's evident in a lot of different ways. So, there's your higher self frequency to connect you today. And let's move this closer. So we've got our phone right here. We want to make sure that we're talking to both mics at the same time. That way you can hear me. I find myself turning away, and I don't want to turn away. Okay. This practical, like the journey for me. For me, it starts from the center, right? It's hard for me to talk about other people's journey when I'm trying to tell you how it is, how I felt it, how it resonated, how it made sense in the longer term parts of things. parts of things that make sense. So like when you live your life and that thing reappears in some minute form or fashion that creates some type of aha, those things can only come from within. Um, you can tell the story of someone else's or from a book, but to have lived it creates a resonance from the center point, if that makes sense to anyone out there. So I'm only telling my stories and adding my flavor as I've learned these other pieces and parts of me that I've found from the center, from being balanced in the way that I walk in this space. And it's been a journey. So anyway, as we've come from late 2010, from the awakening process of me, into now 2025, and we just held our 4th annual Mayan Day at a Time celebration here in San Antonio, Texas. And it was different. It was producing these events is every one of them's different, and they've all been in different spaces. We have yet to hold it in the same space yet. And so this year we manifested the botanical gardens. I was looking at another space, and it didn't come together. The you know relaxing and pulling back from trying to initiate things with such vigor and such like I want to break through everything just to create this project, this idea that I have in my heart. This year was, and because of also last year, I learned a lot from last year. We had a $2,000 sponsor come through. Our friend Tristan, DJ Apothecary. And then with this one, we have Ascension Institute. We have Edwin Walker, and we have Perfect Love, Perfect Trust. And these organizations came through and assisted us with the curation and paying for the venue. And there was a line out the door waiting to come in at 7:00. We had our drummers going off. The music was great. The sound was good. Everybody had a beautiful time. I would have loved to have sold out the event, but just, we didn't have the time to push the marketing or, have other strategic partners help us out with that as well. And so regardless of all that, as an event producer, you always want something more than what you had. To have that unicorn of an event that you're like, wow, everything was so magical and perfect, that would have probably been the first one, with how everything came together so quickly and we wound up making money from it. And we weren't just trying to do anything but host a party. And friends came through, and we didn't really have like a budget for anything. And there was no money, nothing really cost at that time for us. But now with the production going up, we have expenses, and we're, not trying to do I never want to do the exact same thing again. Until, I would like to get to a space where we're comfortable in a particular venue for a couple years in a row, and then, maneuver on a larger scale, whatever. But this one, with it being at the botanical gardens, and if you look at the history and the information, like what does this organization do here in San Antonio? It's just like the other organizations that I champion, the Gardopia Gardens of the world, the Food Policy Councils, the River Aid SAs, these types of organizations. This is another one to check up and add to that list in the San Antonio Botanical Gardens. They have a lot of education upon food and growing food and pollinator gardens and working with the children, working with the schools. They've been around for a long time. It's a beautiful partnership to have. And I am grateful for Josh Pena, who is in the alcohol, beverage, and sales department that opened the space up for us and donated it to us essentially, and for Luis for guiding us through the event planning experience and having the tables set up and having a team ready for us. It all made the experience fantastic, and I could never have imagined of hosting our event at the Botanical Gardens. That would have been, you know, not in the cards, because I'm always trying to go like way beyond our cap of 250 people that was gifted to us on this time. Um, and you know, I want to have 1,000 people, but you know, it was great. And I learn, and you know, this is where I get to see that I love to push a message, but what can be taken care of as far as humans safely and without adding so much waste. You know, at the end of the day, what is it that we're doing here? What is the Herald's message? Is it to host events? Is that what the business has turned into? To, you know, give an experience? And that's not completely it. That's part of it. But the other part is to always learn from our mistakes and adjust quickly. And this event was nothing short of that, and always wanting to do better and look at ways why things didn't follow through again. Man, I'm like always wanting to compost. I'm always wanting to recycle and put plastic in eco bricks. And you know, sorry, it's getting a phone call. You know, there's events that are hosted all over the world, and not many of them are sustainable with where we're wanting to go and what we're wanting to be about, right? Like, what does ascension look like? What is that word? What does that even mean anyway? Ascension. Ascending. Are you going higher? You know, I don't know if that's the correct word that we want to use. It may be awareness. It may be attunement. It may be learning just what Nikola Tesla talked about with frequencies, vibrations, oscillations, energy. Like when you can discover that, then you may tap into it all. And is it time? And is it color? And is it like, what is this space? What are we ascending to? What is the perspective of from the ascended? If it doesn't look the same, well, man, there's something drastic that must be afoot. You know, like, you know, are we listening to podcasts? Are we watching YouTube? Are we, you know, on Netflix, Gaia TV, TikTok? What are all those things in the future? Phones, cars with rubber tires. What does it look like to evolve from that? How can we use those things to help us get to the place that maybe we envisioned that is past that? I mean, really, I mean, how many out there have looked past that? What does this space look like with no cars and you know, what does your imagination tell you? You know, some have out here in this world have had monumental visionary experiences with beings that have taken them to planets where none of the stuff that we experience here exists. You know, there's no cars, there's no work, you know. And then they're like, that's where we're going. Okay, how do we get there? How do we go from this to that? In the blink of an eye? Would your consciousness believe that it died to get there? What would that look like to go from this to that? Is it a is it like do you are you building it, or is it a blink of an eye? Is it a meditation that we all do and then we all blink? But who would have to tell that message to say that we could blink and it would be, no cars and no work and no this and that? How would the mass collective come out and jive with that? Like, what kind of story needs to be told for everybody to do that? And if it, my opinion, it may not be that way. It's partly that way, but it can't all be that way, in my opinion. You can think what you want. But what if you do think what you want? What is it that you want? What is it that you see? I'd like to know. Put it in the comments wherever you are, wherever you're finding this data that I'm giving you, this question that I'm asking you. What does that ascension process look like for you? What is it? Again, we're using the word ascension, but what is this growth? What is this pattern shift? This cymatic pattern of heaven on earth? What does that look like for you? Can you identify it now? Happening right now? Is this part of what's happening? Do you see that? I wonder. I do. That's part of what I see, and that's what I'm talking about. Is it's transpiring here and now. And the part of the process that we're in is, or that we're about, I feel that we're about to shift into, and it's part of what I'm heralding. And this could just be me, and this is all me just being super delusional and calling myself the herald for this process of awakening and awareness to your equilibrium, so you can make the decision your darn self, is all just fantasy, and I'm just like crazy. And I'm imagining it all myself. I don't know, isn't that what we're here to do anyway? Are you the herald for your universe? Are you the one that is here as the official bearer of news of a new way to be and for a cosmic shift? And if so, where are you going? What shift? What does it look like? Are you unaware? Are you riding the wave? You hit by it. What is your message to the world, to the rest of yourselves, if it's all coming from you to you? What does it look like? Man, I really want to know what people think. I don't know how many people have really processed what it looks like. I have very, very, very much so. And I see practical applications of creating that like here and now and saying, wow, we could actually do it ourselves. We could do it ourselves, guys. We could do it ourselves. And it falls flat to the masses. Look, I'm going to call it like I see it. And, this is maybe me calling myself out as it's all me, right? It's just me talking to me. So if I can just talk frankly to myself, I would say, don't get, okay. I don't know. I've never tried to talk frankly to myself like this right here on the podcast, as I don't edit these things. I'm not going to take any of this out. This is like sticking. I just wanted to, and I keep kicking the tripod. So for the ones that are on my podcast, the ones on my YouTube over here, you're getting a better signal than my podcast. I keep kicking this tripod. As we maneuver life and we maneuver entrepreneurship, and how the heck does the herald get his message out? Gosh darn it. What do you see? So for me, what I see, and I don't even know, I think I lost track and I'm on a different track. Let's see where we go with this. What do I see? Why the event? What is this about? Why infinite you? What's the message? How can the world shift that quickly if that's what some people see? A lot of people. Because, this is, I'm speaking now to those super duperly engaged with, some of the social media that, in my opinion, Everybody has one. In my perspective, the loop that that one can be stuck in, this loop of I'm looking for people. I don't want to be alone, and I know how powerful I am, and I found people in this digital space that I can talk to every day for hours, and feel like I found my community, and we can talk about how great we are and all the wonderful things we see. But it's about the wonderful things that we be. And if you're headed to heaven on earth, I really do see people gardening. I see people connecting with the planet. I see people celebrating bare feet on earth. I don't see a bunch of people communicating in a digital space. That's just not the world that I see. That's my heaven on earth, and so I like to be on the other end of where we're going. And then if I'm on the other end, then I want to see if I can look back, if I can traverse my past, present, future. I would like to look back and see, how did I get here? How did I get to where not everybody's on their phone, and not everybody's a content creator and having to spread their story through digital means and just kind of find validation? What if they've already been validated? What if we've all been validated already, and now we're just living in the path of being, and like, oh, I'm a steward of this place. I came here to be that. What would that look like? And how could we make Gaia, Mother Earth, be the home, the mother that we've always wished for, one that provides the sustenance and all the beautiful things that we use to create this beauty of a life. All the colors. There's a lot that we can be grateful for. And there's a lot of people that are complaining about the things that others aren't grateful for. And I don't want to, that's not what this platform is about. But I do recognize the pattern and the shift that we are in. And, one way or another, the ones that resonate with the path to embodiment, with the activation, with the, hey, I'm actually walking the walk, and I can't just stay talking about it. And I don't want to be caught in a digital loop of finding that soul connection only in a virtual space, and only wanting to build the virtual space. Because look, all right, you know what? Let's go nitty gritty on it real quick. Let's go nitty gritty. I can't hold my tongue anymore. I can't hold my tongue. This is for the ones that when the herald. Now this is, everybody's got a message, right? Just like everybody's got an opinion. Okay. Now, does that mean because everybody's got a message and an opinion that you need to listen and pay attention to it? No. And is everybody an official messenger? Is everybody an official herald? And I would really say no. No. I've heard the messages of others, and I'm like, no, what are you doing? Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. Please run away from that message right there. It is going to lead you into a wobble situation where you cannot find your equilibrium. And I've seen the perils of that from afar, and I've called attention to it, and only to be bitten myself by the ones that are being bitten by the one spitting out the rhetoric. The space this spiritual space can be filled with those that have been put into a headspace and left there to spin around. And there's a ton of information. And this is where I'm speaking to the ones that want to stay where they're at. The ones that when you are invited, you express how, no, we're all supposed to be where we are. And, it's like you're clinging to the digital virtual world and not wanting to partake in the real world. Afraid of the responsibilities of what it would mean if you took your gifts and your powers out to the regular people. that too have their own gifts and their powers. And this is the inner struggle, is you're only finding them in a digital space because you found your niche, your people, your clique, your soundboard. And I know how rough the real world can be. Oh my gosh, I know. What do you think I do? To be an entrepreneur in a large city means I need to go out and finagle with other business owners and people that are not in the same space as a spiritual awareness. I believe in extraterrestrial, interdimensionals, and the chakra system and human design and a galactic calendar, and that we're going through an ascension or awareness process of the soul. Yeah, okay, how far is that going to get you at the round table with the circle, with all the heads of a corporation, to try to find funding and try to tell them, like, this is how it makes sense. Put that on paper. So the struggle of integrating this higher awareness into a business model has been my life since my awakening. The new me is integrating a spiritual awakening into practical application. And sometimes I can find, reflections in TikTok, which is a main place. Facebook hasn't really been a place for good, information in the way that it is for a while. It's been taken over. It's different. YouTube may be a place to play around and I get some information, but the algorithms are not suiting me well and it doesn't draw my attention. Instagram, that's for products and, can get branding and whatnot. TikTok is a place. I mean, why do you think they named it Time? They lured people to time, to talk about time and get lost in time as they doom scroll. Like, and I've seen it, I've witnessed it where, I do this and it's almost, I feel like I'm fishing for the ones that are awake and aware because I can hear their stories. On Facebook, I don't get to hear like stories as they used to be in the beginning of my spiritual awakening. And that's what led me to YouTube. And then people were giving up their spiritual stories and their journeys on Facebook, I would follow and dive into that and make friends and or whatever, or interact. TikTok seems to be a place where people are wanting to express themselves and are wanting to get information and to find out who's on what level and where they find themselves. TikTok can be a really crazy, wild place with these spiritual gurus that get a following in one digital space and think they're out here to save the world, and that they have all the answers and they can read your chart and they've been doing it for 6 days. And it's like, and I understand that. I do. I was there. I went through it. And yes, it's a lot of information. It comes in quick. And I've told people years ago, when I was out here slanging my goods in spiritual stores and whatnot and doing my thing, that the ones that came and got it after me, in excuse me, in like 2020 and beyond, 2017, 2018, like hit like a Mack truck, and the most people on TikTok are 2020 and newer in this awakening process. It's only 2025. Like, I'm not, not to discount anybody's awakening, what the information they led to, what the expertise they have, and all that. It's not what I'm discrediting at all. But it's definitely the way that people can come off with, like, I'm so adept with certain things that I'm going to attack other things, or finding this tribe, this community that is in no means trying to really do anything in the real world. That we're going to hold everything in love and light. I mean, this is like the 1960s all over again, where we could just do spiritual kumbaya from wherever you are. Now, I would say if you're going to do that, if you don't want to meet up, if you don't want to come and find your tribe and dance in the woods, like I've been inviting everybody for like years, and like come out to medicine for the people, or Solar Punk Summit, or the Mayan Day at a Time celebration. That's literally why we bring them together, because these are nodes when we come together and we dance and we listen to this music that reminds us of our ancestral self, without all the words, without all the workshops, where we just get to move our body and breathe together and dream together. And let me orchestrate that. Let some of my people that are really adept at orchestrating humans coming together and dancing in the woods and feeling free and connected like a child. What that does for the human collective is fucking beyond measure. And you can't do that from TikTok. You just cannot. You cannot do that from TikTok. There's no lives on the world that are going to give you that sense of I'm not fucking alone, until you go out there amongst your community and do it with them. And you breathe with them, and you cry with them, and you dance with them, and you smile with them, and you play with them, and you bring your children every year and we see our own children grow up around each other until we find our own space, and we find our own community that we can be noted up out in the hill country, out in wherever we choose to live in the way that we are all resonating with. Whether you are a meat eater or meat meteor, maybe you're a meat meteor. Like you came down from the stars. Or you could be a meat eater, a hunter, a gatherer, or you could be plants only. You can be whatever you want, and you find your community, and you gather your resources, you get some land, and then you go live that way. And there's plenty of like opportunity to take waste and turn it into fuel now, biochar, fertilizer, gas. And then there's technology to turn plastic into plastiline and dieseline and power your generators. And while you're closing the loop on yourself, you're stewarding Gaia. You're not adding more trash to the space. And I think earlier I was on a tangent about why we host our events and the way we do it. And it's we want to lead the way in how events can be more regenerative and sustainable. And there's technologies that can take the plastic waste that not everybody in the beginning is just going to be like, oh yeah, take all the trash with me. No, I mean, yeah, but there's an interim phase between here and there. And as we get there, we can be like, hey, now we got another part of our company that takes your plastic waste and we turn it into fuel. And until you buy in, you get none of this fertilizer fuel or whatever it is that we reap from your waste. That goes to like another organization or, whatever. Man, I got 1,000,001 ways to skin a cat. So let me take a drink of water. Okie dokie. We're drawing down to the end, and this is supposed to be a recap of the event. And the recap of the event is our sponsors, Botany Scientifics, Edwin Walker, and Perfect Love, Perfect Trust, Ascension Institute, and Apothecary. Thank you all for being our sponsors. We appreciate you guys immensely, and you can find all of their links on, I believe we have them on our link tree. You'll find ways to find them. And sign up for the email newsletter. That would be the best way for us to get you the information about these amazing organizations that helped us to help you. And at the end of the day, what we want to do, and before I end this, I really want to like have a call to action. Because I don't want to leave it with me bitching and complaining about people that just want to stay stuck in the virtual world. So I'm reading the process. I'm reading everyone saying, you know what? I don't want to travel to you, Harold. I don't necessarily believe in what you believe in. I want to do things here, man. And it's not about your city, Harold. It's about my city. It's where I'm at. And you know what? Let me give you that. Let me gift you that. And let me inspire you to do something great and be like the way shower of your neck of the woods. And how does that transpire? Well, you're still going to have to work, and I'm going to put your ass into fucking check because I'm measuring your heart, right? Now, if you were on any one of these apps and you've heard the journey of the Herald and its action steps of gardens in schools, garden-based curriculum, nature, people meditating and all parks and doing these really cool things that express this new way of being, if you were into doing that in a physical world, then we can ride. But if you're stuck in the app and you're only going to do things virtually, then I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. You'll watch the stuff, but it's going to be hard for me to interact with that because that's just not where I'm at. I'm into activating the space. And so what we have right now is 2 years. You know, whenever you listen to this right now, today, for this podcast, it is 8/1/2025, and tomorrow 8/2/2025 is the 2-year prequel versary. How would you say it? Anniversary's got to be afterwards. What's before? It's the prequel, 2 years before the totality eclipse in Egypt. Luxor, Temple of Hathor, Isis, the Nile. Literally the solar eclipse, the center of it goes parallel, like the center of it goes right over fucking the Nile in a specific spot. And I'm looking at the signs, and there's an event that's going to be popping off, and I know the guy hosting it, and I'm hoping to be involved with all this. It looks like all signs say yes, some form or fashion. Infinite You is going to help herald this mission. But what is it? What is this call to action? I didn't even spit it out yet, right? You're just listening to me ramble. Are you ready for the call to action? Are you ready for the call to action? You get to stay where you are. I'm inspiring. I'm hoping. And you can ask, and we can assist in a lot of different ways. And maybe, this is what Infinite You turns into, is a resource on how to do these transformational festivals in your neck of the woods, and how I can help find you the money and the ways to synergize it all around the Path to Embodiment app, where we reward people for volunteering with events, products, and services. And so the events could be this worldwide at every major city, and some off-grid or transformational communities or event spaces, where we can have events that are hosted by event producers that get paid to put on the event by businesses and organizations that have the money to do this stuff, where they have all these resources and they want to change the world. Will invite everyone to this global harmonic convergence that correlates with the 2027 Mayan data time celebration, and 8 days later, the totality eclipse with Egypt. So we connect the Mayan to the Egypt, San Antonio. I can help tell the story, so that way your event, whatever it is like a success. And we'll do it through the app, and I'll guide people to your event. We'll get local people to come and volunteer, and we'll get local money that will also help out. And there is money, believe me, there's enough funds for all this. We may even get the government to help with a worldwide party. We may be able to get different huge sponsors that you thought were here to harm the world. And obviously, I'm not going to work with every organization. Bill Gates ain't going to come up in here and try to be a sponsor. But there may be some organizations that are turning the tide right now that will help fund and do the right thing, because it is what matters, how we act in our community and how we give back, and how we can be the change that we wish to see. And if you'll have a vision of the Matrix, when they're partying in Zion and they're celebrating, before the big battle, this can be the celebration after the battle with ourselves, the battle of the divine masculine, feminine, the battle with the corporate world, the battle with capitalism, the battle with colonization, the battle with, black and white and all the colors. Let's end those battles and celebrate the ending of all those battles within ourselves, and begin the process of celebrating the new pattern, which is all aligning, all true. It takes you off from your center and moves you out from there. And that's what this path to embodiment, that's what we're inspiring with everyone that wants to stay in their home state, in their home city, and does not want to travel too far away. Then you too, why don't you get up off your butt and start a festival, and get the people that resonate with you to bring in the sound healers, to bring in the Reiki masters, the readers, the everything's, the permaculturists, and get them all from your local area and pull them together and find a space, and let me help you. And there you go. So path to embodiment, whether it happens or not, I said it. He said it. The Herald said it. And then whatever happens after that, y'all get to decide. is I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And the people around me that are close to me, we're all going to do what we're going to do. And we're open to create a movement within you. All right? So I hope that's it. With that, we want y'all to love always in all ways. Peace.